Can the artist's way really take me from burnt out author to bold creative in just 12 weeks? Join me week by week as I navigate my way out of the creative void. What if your internal blockages are the things that are preventing you from being creative? What if all you need to do is understand the difference between fear and enthusiasm, and how understanding that is going to help you to be creative again? Okay, so hi everyone, this is Erica Deary, and this is week 9? This is week 9 of doing The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. And this week we are recovering our sense of compassion. I feel like in the last few weeks we were more about strength and power and connection. And this week we're trying to get into our softer era where compassion is the thing that is going to help us more on our artistic journey, and how we can overcome obstacles that come up as we're trying to create. Okay, so the chapter opens with two very important and kind of opposite concepts. One is fear, and the other one is enthusiasm. Sometimes fear presents itself as laziness, as procrastination, and that's because deep down, what we are is actually afraid. And Julie reminds us that this fear has its roots in childhood, because sometimes we have well-intentioned parents, teachers, carers who actually transmit those fears or their own fears to us. And then when we grow up, we don't even notice because we acquired this chip when we were very young, right? And to us, creating art sometimes means going into rebellion or going against our parents and our family and our tribe. And subconsciously, what she says, if I am going to rebel myself against like my family and everything, well, you might as well do it for a really, really big goal, a really big creative pursuit. But that sets us up for failure because the goal is so high that we don't even begin. It's like if I, Erica, who can't even run 1 kilometer, I say that I want to climb Mount Everest when literally I just got rained on last week and I have a cold. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that. But if I wanted to start climbing, maybe my goal should be, okay, I'm going to go to the rock wall instead, do for half an hour and see how I feel in a wall in a closed environment. The need to be a great artist make it hard to be an artist. The need to produce a great work of art makes it hard to produce any art at all. So because we're afraid, we procrastinate, we set ourselves really big challenges that are impossible to achieve, at least from where we are. And because we fail, then we don't want to do it. And it's kind of this vicious cycle that we need to break. And Julia correctly mentions the cure for fear is love, right? And it's the love, the unconditional love that you need to have for yourself or for your inner artist, for your inner child, to allow this child to make mistakes and to explore and to play. The other opposite concept that Julia shows us in the book is enthusiasm. Julia mentions in the book that we need to be really careful to not confuse enthusiasm with discipline. So it makes a lot of sense because sometimes discipline is just that thing, is that big push for you to show up and do it, right? We see it in athletes. We see it in a lot of people who just do that and they suffer for the gold medal or they suffer for their art. But then she says no. What we need to do is be enthusiastic about this. You love to do this so much that you're just so excited to do it. I remember when I was in uni, and I have to say I studied international business. It has served me very well, but it wasn't like the choice of career that I wanted to do. It's just because I had a scholarship to this really good university, But then all the other things that were artistic, I didn't feel like I was going to make enough money to be able to, I guess, have the lifestyle that I wanted to have. And I'm so grateful that I studied that. But in saying that, I actually had this, we could do like art classes, sports, etc. And I was enrolled in a dance class. And I had to, kid you know, this class would make my week. This would actually make me get out of bed, and I really, really want to go to school. Not because I want to learn the uni concepts, which, yes, they're interesting, and I find them interesting now. But at the time, I was like, I just want to go to the class. I just want to go to this dance class. And I think that is what made me the enthusiasm, um, yeah, to go and learn and help me get out of bed to actually show up. It's funny because a lot of people think I'm enthusiast, and I think, yeah, I think I do get an inner joy for actually achieving things, even if nobody else knows. For me, if I reflect back on my author journey, I think I would get a lot of enthusiasm when I was drawing the illustrations on a paper and when I was writing the story, but not so much when I was laying out the book. Like when I was just like putting it all together and compiling it, that was not something that made me happy, but that was something that I had to do out of discipline to be able to finish it. Julia equates enthusiasm with spiritual surrender. In the artist way cosmovision, creativity is a spiritual experience, right? So you had to be very in tune with, I guess, God or the creator or the universe, whatever deity you subscribe to, that is going to give you that, I guess, that infinite power to create. She tells us that the word enthusiasm comes from the Greek filled with God. So there has to be that, like, that spark that is, it's going to give you access to that flow. So maybe I would say, if you're having issues with enthusiasm, maybe ask yourself, am I doing the art that I really want to do? Or am I self sabotaging? So in the book, she gives a few examples of people who are like, oh my God, they're like just about to get that book deal. They're just about to, somebody tells them, hey, send me your manuscript. I'll have a look. And they never send it. Or, hey, send me your reel if you're an actor. Update your headshots. And they never go and update them, right? So those little actions, or I guess inactions, are actually the self-sabotage that Julia is talking about. And she gives us a few antidotes for it. So the first one is compassion. Okay, admit that, okay, I've done this behavior, I've self-sabotaged, and now what do I do? Okay, first of all, forgive yourself. Again, recovering that compassion. But the second one is asking for help. And I have to say, this really, yeah, I think this really spoke to me, because as an only child, I'm not very used to asking for help. My ego tells me that I have to do everything on my own. And if I don't do it by myself, and if I don't do it, and I got help, it's not good enough. It comes with like this pride, but like that toxic pride that makes it's kind of your downfall, right? So I feel like, to me, it's like, oh, Julie is really touching a nerve with me. Yeah, that I probably need to be better at asking for help. And I think, as I've mentioned in a few of the episodes before, probably having a community of like-minded people is what's going to give you that help, bouncing ideas, getting the feedback, how am I going to do it? And even ChatGPT, without getting into psychosis, right? But you can use ChatGPT with the correct prompts to be, hey, ChatGPT, can you be my my developmental editor and give me feedback into this manuscript that I've done? Not do it for me, but tell me where I can improve it before I can send it to to an agent or to something like that. I don't know if agents or publishers are actually embracing AI in that way, or if they would be willing to accept manuscripts where you have actually had the help of AI. And I wonder, if you're transparent about it and tell them how you use it, if that would help you, or if that would deter them to talk to you. I honestly don't know. But to be honest, I've discovered that I want to write a few short stories just to see how I feel, just to see what my voice is like, what the stories that I'm drawn to. And I want to create these short stories not because I want to sell them in a book. Okay, eventually I will probably, but at the moment it's more like um, that play that Julie is mentioning. Like, um, I'm using my triggers, like what things are triggering me from social media, for example, that give me a very emotional response. Okay, can I make a story out of that? So I feel like I deviated from the subject. But yeah, Julia says like the cure for that, those creative wounds or caused by the self-sabotage, or by what she calls it, the creative U-turns, is more creativity. Like you cannot um, wallow yourself, or continue to think about the thing that happened 20 years ago when your movie didn't get made. She gives an example of a director who he sold the script, I think, and then the movie got made, but it was terrible because he was fired from his own job, his own movie that he wrote. And then he went to lick his wounds for a while, but then the only antidote was for him to create again and to write another script and direct another movie and move on from that. So I guess accepting that that's over, that's also part of the healing, I would add. I think in this week Julia doesn't tell us, oh, now you've done this program and you're never ever going to be blocked again. No, she tells us, these blockages are going to appear. I am telling you what they're going to look like. And she gives us 5 steps to how to remove these blockages, either before you start doing the art that you want to create, or if you're in the middle of it, or in one of the stages when you're about to finish and you just don't want to, you just don't have the energy, because as I said, right? So one thing is to write the book, but then another one is to lay it out and format it and things like that, especially if you're in self-publishing. It's very funny because one of my friends, she's writing a book in that bilingual book space, and she's like, oh, I just can't finish it. She's done it, like it's already written, but she just can't bring herself to format it and to put it in a in the way that Amazon wants it. And like, you just have to like do it, like get that finishing energy so you can like do it. And yeah, she sent it to me, and I think she's gotten a bit of feedback. Honestly, it's a book I wish I had read as a mom that tried to raise their kids bilingual. um yeah, it's a book that I wanted to, like, I said that to her, like, honestly, and then I think that gave her that little you know um spring to kind of like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. And then she got feedback from even from ChatGPT, right? Again, it's like, give me feedback on my book, and she got it, and it was really positive. So I think that has pumped her into wanting to finish that book, which is very exciting. It's a real thing. This self-sabotage is going to be your ego trying to stopping you and keeping you safe again. So yeah, we need to conquer it. And how do you conquer it? With love and with compassion. Now, this week, instead of giving us a lot of activities, of small activities, she gave us 4 really big, juicy, oh, this is 8. She gave us 4 really juicy activities. And one was about visualization. So, visualizing the goal that you want. Maybe it's a book, a bestseller. So, just visualize it, feel it, that sort of thing, manifesting it type of thing. Woo woo. I love this because I love doing this. I love visualizing. I love manifesting, writing, things like that. Another one was about listing your creative goals. Like, what do you want? What is your big goal that you want to create next year? Well, what is your big goal for the next 12 months? Like, can you cut it out in 12 months? uh, then what is your next goal by next week, right? So if you want to write a novel of, I don't know, 12 chapters, maybe you can write 1 chapter a month. What does that mean? Maybe it's 5 pages a day, or 1,000 words a day, whatever it is. Cut it down in smaller chunks so that it's actually achievable. And the last one was about being uh, aware of your creative U-turns, your self-sabotage, so that you can actually nurture that with the compassion, so that you can actually follow the 5 steps that she gives. and be able to finish. And now for the check-in.
Okay, guys, so it's actually today time to do the check in. Let's go. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? Regarding your U turns, have you allowed yourself a shift towards compassion, at least on the page? I have to say that this week I improved much more than last week. I've done it for 5 days, and I think I don't know if I have, because I do it like when I just wake up and honestly I'm still half asleep. I have not really reflected in anything. But this week I've actually used the morning pages to um, talk about my dreams. So if I had a dream, just try to write it down, writing affirmations, and then yeah, just writing some of the things that are, I guess, happening in my life. I think when it comes to the U-turns, because I'm in this limbo of a place, I don't think I have been um I haven't even started the race, if that makes sense. So I feel like the U-turn isn't going to manifest until I actually start like actually doing something. So definitely something to be aware of, but not something as part of this creative process. The next question is, did you do your artist date this week? Have you kept the emphasis on fun? What did you do? How did it feel? Guys, to be honest, I Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? No, I keep not experiencing any synchronicity. I literally had to ask ChatGPT, like, what the F? Because I honestly don't really get why my synchronicities are not happening. Like, to be honest, I completely, it's not like I think about it or I'm all the time like, oh, is this a synchronicity? No, I feel like there must be something that I'm not doing. And I started talking to her about, to her, I know I'm referring to ChatGPT as a person, but kind of talking to her like, do you think this is happening because I don't believe this is possible for me? Like, how do I close that gap? And I guess because to me, there's this, I've come from a very, like St. Thomas, right? I need to see it to believe it. And a lot of this, like this book, Manifesting, everything like that tells us that you need to believe it so you can see it, right? So flipping the narrative. So I think my question to ChatGPT is like, how, like, you, there's a part of you that needs to be realistic. Like, yes, the Lulu is the solution and everything. But when you're seeing reality, like not doing what you want reality to do, it's very difficult um, to believe, right? So I think basically she came up with a few points. It's like this is like the reality wall. It's a bit of a protection for your brain to kind of like not get too excited about something, and not lose that hope. Like it's almost like you don't get chosen to be on a team or something, and it's like, well, I didn't even want to go. I didn't even want to be. It's like that self protection. And she gave me like an exercise with an affirmation so that I could repeat it, and yeah, basically Hopefully, now I can start bringing about those synchronicities. And then the last question, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant to your recovery? Describe them. So, yeah, obviously, because I've been sick, I haven't been able to do the artist date. But I think something that is very significant in my recovery is that I am the kind of person who, I push myself when sometimes I don't need to be pushed. Like, I'm gonna tell you I'm sick because I went to work and it was pouring rain. And to be honest, in the morning, my inner being was telling me, don't go, work from home, work from home, work from home. I'm like, no, but it's a Monday and we have this agreement that we have to be in the office on a Monday. So I went and obviously I took boots and coat and umbrella. But if you live in Melbourne, sometimes it rains horizontally. And of course, like my socks were wet, my computer was wet, like everything. And obviously, I just sat there and yeah, and I had to come back half the day because I knew like my body was literally telling me, "Nah, it's ruined because you you got sick. Like you had your feet wet for a long time." And yeah, that's kind of like I think what made me sick. And I think what I need to do is to listen to that like inner being. And when it tells me no, work from home, I'll just work from home.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't believe we're 3 quarters in to this journey, and I'm honestly feeling very different. As I've been editing videos and I look at video number one, I'm like, oh my god, even I look different. The way I talk to you, the way I feel. I feel like it's definitely helped, and it's one of those things that keep me wanting to keep doing it. Unlike many books, sometimes they promise a lot, and I think this is why it's been so relevant, because it literally changes lives, and I definitely can feel that I'm a different person than I started 9 weeks or 18 weeks ago, whatever it is. I've definitely have changed, because even 2 weeks ago, when I'm editing the video from last week, I'm like, oh, it feels like it's such a long time ago. Remember, if you want to do the artist way with me or without me or with your best friend or by yourself, you can get the book in the description below. And also, if you've noticed, I've got a little cup that I did from one of the days that I was doodling. But this didn't give me enthusiasm anymore, but I still did it. It's on my Etsy shop with 3 items. If you like this cup, there are others there with schnauzer if you like dogs. I might do more, but as I said, it didn't give me as much excitement as what I'm writing right now. So I think it's good to hear that. But here it is. Get the book. I get a small commission at no extra cost to you. See you next week. Remember, progress is better than perfection. And look, if you have not subscribed by week 9, what are you doing, dude? Follow me on socials. I don't know if I will be overlapping these, because apparently you're not supposed to share your YouTube videos with your families. I'll probably do it after. I don't know. But then you'll see what I'm doing in relatively real-ish time. And stay tuned, because next week we are recovering our sense of self-protection. See you next week.